Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePoce, and it's a pleasure, as always, to be with you all on this wonderful Friday afternoon. So we had another volatile week in several markets. We had Neptune turn retrograde on June 28th, the same day as a full moon. And then on Friday, July 1st, we had a square aspect between Mars and Pluto. So let's take a look at how these aspects may have affected markets across the financial landscape. Starting off by looking at the Dow Jones, we saw that the week's high formed right on that Neptune retrograde on June 28th, the same day as the new moon. Prices came down into Thursday, June 30th, but here on Friday, July 1st, the day that Mars is squaring Pluto, we're seeing a nice rally into the end of the day, into the end of the week, which is a pretty good sign overall. We are going to be closed on Monday for financial markets in observance of Independence Day in the U.S. But if we can, solidify a higher low here, that would be a pretty good sign. But overall, bears are still in control of this market. I also want to take a look at the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ led the market lower again today, but there are some developments underneath the surface of the market in the NASDAQ as it specifically pertains to energy. And that's something I want to talk about today because we know that energy has been one of the leading sectors in the financial markets year to date. And so I'm going to pull up a chart here of crude oil. It's trading around 108 today. It's up from the pullback that occurred one day after the Neptune retrograde on June 28th. And the co-rulers of the energy market are Jupiter and Neptune. So as many of you probably know, Jupiter is now in the sign of Aries. And this is pretty significant because crude oil did very well while Jupiter was in Pisces, which is a sign that it co-rules, it rules in classical astrology. That was before the discovery of Neptune. And if we look at a chart of XLE, the energy sector ETF here, we see that we came down pretty hard in the month of June, but we're trying to, find a floor here. But I think now that Jupiter is in the sign of Aries, and we know that the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries, I don't think we should sleep on the solar sector. So the ETF I'm sharing with you now, the ticker symbol is TAN, T-A-N. So basically the thinking is as Jupiter transits through the sign of Aries, and we know that Jupiter is a co-ruler of energy, and it's in a sign that the sun is exalted in, we could see some significant moves unfold within the solar sector. So definitely keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at interest rates real quick because we came down, interest rates came down into the end of the week, so bond prices rose. And I think it's a really big battle going on in financial markets between crude oil and bonds right now. Typically, the relationship is inverse. That is, as crude oil rallies, bond prices come down, but we're kind of seeing both of them rally at the moment. So a lot of times you see that at key turning points. Definitely keep an eye on that. We have Mars going into the sign of Taurus next week, the same day that Mercury goes into the sign of Cancer on July 5th. So we'll keep an eye on Mars-related markets, especially with the Mars square Pluto on July 1st. Look for some geopolitical tensions to inflame over the weekend. It's a holiday in the U.S., so perhaps some of America's adversaries are using that knowledge to potentially make some moves. So keep an eye on that. And with Mercury going into the sign of Cancer, could be some emotionally based communication surrounding whatever events may take place. But I think the bigger story in financial markets right now is the fact that Saturn and Neptune are both retrograde, and there's a distortion between what may or may not be. Saturn rules reality, Neptune rules delusions, dream world. So there's a lot of hysteria surrounding inflation and the direction of the economy and whatnot, but things may not be as bad as they seem, and that could be a catalyst for a recovery down the line. I do want to take a quick look at the gold sector ETF, GDX here, seeing a nice rally here on Friday, but this is still in a downtrend, as you can see with the lower lows and lower highs. So we'll have to keep an eye on this market going forward. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you today. I want to thank you all for watching. We're going to have Ray back on the show here in the next week or two. So definitely stay tuned for that. Check us out at www.mmacycles.com and wishing you all a good holiday weekend and the best of fortune trading. Talk to you soon.